What's going on, guys? Welcome to JPowell Music, and I did the modifications on the guitar. So I did the modifications here. As you can see, I'll just go from the bottom up, I guess. But I started with the saddles. So these are stainless steel saddles that I got on Amazon. I do feel a difference as far as for just kind of like the tension and everything, and then obviously sustain is going to be really good, I believe. But they feel great. They're really solid. Intonation isn't 100% perfect, but it is good. It's not like where you can hear like, whoa, this is not intonated. I got the pickup here for the Wilkinson pickups. These are the M series pickups. They sound really good. I'll do a playtest here in a second. But they went in fine. Luckily, I didn't have any issues with the screws. Some people on the reviews, they say that they had issues with how the screws didn't fit their setup. So I got lucky with these. It actually fits the setup and everything. So no issues there for the neck pickup and for the bridge pickup. Control plate success. So this has the quarter size pots that I talked about, the orange rock capacitor. And then put in the new switch, or not the switch, the output jack. Got that set up there. First, I was worried that the switch wouldn't fit inside of the cavity of the Telecaster, but I am happy to announce that it does. So you don't have to do any like additional sanding or kind of like really cutting in where you'd have to have this switch to fit inside it. So luckily, no issues there. Realize that for some of these screws, like for this screw, it's kind of just there for show. There is a wood piece that actually chipped off, so this isn't really holding anything down. So just for the sake of the look of the guitar, I just had the screw in there, but luckily it won't fall out. There's a similar nature, I think, to another one of these screws. But overall, the pocket cutout when you take the pickguard off and all that stuff, it's fine. It's fine. Obviously nothing is shielded, so that could help with some future, ground loop potential issues. But the nice thing is that, as far as for how the cloth wire is for the electronics, when it does ground, the hum, tends to reduce significantly when I do obviously hold the strings. So that whole, how Telecasters are set up, that works fine. Biggest issue to me is just the obviously is an easy fix is the strings. The strings are not good. I have some Ernie ball strings that are going to come in. I'm going to try the 10 gauges. The nut I didn't really replace. I'll probably lubricate the nut. Just cause. But I feel like the nut is cut really well. I don't hear any weird tinging. So the resonance seems to be fine as far as from these saddles to the nut of the guitar. It seems to be fine. The tuners are solid. I feel like they stay in tune pretty well for the most part. I'll probably do another tune up here before I do my playtest, which would make sense, and I'm sure you guys would appreciate that. It's like, yes, Darrell, please play in tune. Yeah, and they went back on solid. Everything lined up, so no issues there. Sometimes you have issues as far as you'll realize like the screw set is just not where it's at. When I took off the old tuners, they were really loose. So I'm glad I got rid of those. So yeah, these Music Lily tuners, they're solid. Even the ones that aren't locking. Highly recommend it. I'm starting to appreciate the form factor of the guitar too, because it has a little bit of a belly cut right on the side. And then the curve, here. I'm starting to appreciate the heel a little bit more as well. But once again, one of the things I'm really impressed with is just there's no sprouts, on any of the frets. They all seem to be well leveled. I haven't heard any weird tinging or whatever issues, or I'd have to see if it's a fret issue or whatever the case may be. Nothing to that regard. So as far as for upgrading this with some better electronics, this was a joy. This is a much better experience than I've encountered with some other guitars. And especially this is kind of a risk just because this type of setup for the back plate, because sometimes it's like, well, You know, if I have issues with the frets, worst case scenario, it's to swap it out with a different neck. But it's a little more challenging with this type of setup here because you're kind of adding additional holes into the neck. You want to make sure you don't crack it and all that stuff. So luckily, no issues there. So I'm going to pause the video to tune up the guitar, and then I'll do a quick test, get you guys out of here. All right, so I am tuned up here, so I'm just going to play some stuff from the neck to the bridge. Go to the neck pickup. Bridge pickup. So yeah, I mean, I think it's solid. I think it's solid. I do like the pickups. I think they sound a lot better. They're much better quality. And then once you have, like, this is a clinging amp I'm playing through the Leo James Scream 20. It's a practice amp, but it's just very clean. So you're really getting the full sense of how the pickups are. I think they sound pretty good though. So I think for the sake of, you know, as far as just if you have an actual like setup where you have good tone and all that stuff, you're going to get a really nice sound out of these pickups. So I recommend it. I think this is a good one for modding, especially at a $70 price point, So don't buy this at the price that they have it currently. Get it at a discounted price. Just wait, be patient. And yeah, this is a solid guitar, I think, to do some modding. So again, JPowell Music. Catch you guys next video. Thanks a lot.